something new for us. We are starting to do a lot of different kinds of services to honor ourselves, for affirmations and services of this nature, and it's very interesting to have her be the first doing this.
I just want to say, first of all, it's wonderful to see you all. It's wonderful to see you all. And I'm going to try and, without being too long-winded, tell you as we go along how I created it, what the process was. Right now, what I'm
we have decided to respond to Lech L'cha also as women, and Lech L'cha is also another way in which we're going to address the text. So what we will do in this song is we'll intersperse Lech L'cha and Lech L'cha so that everybody's experience is addressed. So maybe we should repeat that together. Lech L'cha. That is the feminine, means go forth or go unto you. And Lech L'cha. Okay. All right. Here it is, very hot off the ground. So let me sing it for you once, and then we'll all do it together. Will
wisdom that comes with age. And what we're doing today as a community is invoking and asking for the blessing of our elders, as well as blessing them for the teachings and the wisdom and the joy they have given us.
So we're going to start by giving you an introduction. And the introduction is telling us a little bit about what I felt this is about and what I felt the service was about. And some wonderful people of the community elders, and I are going to read it together. That is on page 5, I think. 6. On page 6. Would you like to stand as you said?
This call of initiation into a new phase of life was given as a great blessing to Abram and Sarah. Why did God select a time later in life for their spiritual journey? Does a spiritual quest require a certain maturity? We have a wonderful lesson to learn from Sarah and Abram, and Hagar also.
It was not simply the birth of a child that was of utmost importance to our ancestors, but the inner vision of forging of a destiny and establishing a legacy. It is a vibrant beauty from within that marks not only an elder's accomplishments in life, but the inner enlightenment we call wisdom.
Wisdom is the process by which visions are realized. Wisdom is not an end result, but a process acquired through faith in the future reality of one's own vision or visions, whether subliminally or supernaturally guided. It's in the context of vision becoming reality that we celebrate Simhat Hohmah by including in the ceremony some of the steps taken by our ancestors. A title or change of name, a blessing, a covenant, a reconciliation with death, an affirmation of life, a rejoicing in which the individual and the community celebrate the occasion, perhaps by recounting past and future visions. Portions of the Sabbath, I've included portions of the Sabbath service in the ceremony because I wanted to make Simhat Hohmah a truly Jewish ritual. A ritual that springs from Jewish roots. And the highlight of the Sabbath morning service is the reading of the weekly Torah portion. The Torah itself is the religious symbol of Judaism, and without Torah, at least to me, there's no Judaism. We dress the Torah, we carry her, we care for her, we crown her. The Torah, the actual Torah scrolls, are as close to an image of goddess as we have left to us from antiquity. Torah is the source of Jewish wisdom, whose roots are our foundations and whose branches spread out into infinity.
Let's read together. These are the obligations without measure, whose reward too is without measure. To honor mother and father, to perform acts of love and kindness, to attend the house of study daily, to welcome strangers, to visit the sick, to rejoice with others, to console the bereaved, to pray with sincerity, to make peace where there is strife, and the study of Torah is equal to them all, because it leads to them all.
I had a hard time with the Shema. We're still, for those of you who don't know, trying to follow, to a certain extent, the Sabbath morning service. To me, the Shema means hear, O Israel. It's one short sentence that when you say it at service, fills you with a hallowedness. At least it did me from when I was very small. Something went on. I was in a synagogue where the women sat upstairs, separated from the men, never came near the Torah, never read from Torah, certainly. So part of what I'm doing today is to cross that bridge. And when I came to say the Shema, it says, "Hear, O Israel, Adonai our Lord, Adonai is one." And my feminism rose up, and I felt that I wanted to change that. And I wasn't able to. So what I did instead, I'm going to say the Shema because it has great meaning to me as an emotional message. And then I have written some other Shema that we can say afterwards. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our Lord, Adonai is one. Blessed be the holy name of the eternal way. I'm sorry, we should have stood up for that. Shema Israel, we can say it together. Shema Israel, you are the ancient and ever-changing. Shema Israel, the holy name is the name of many in one. Shema Israel, find comfort beneath the wings of Shekinah. Shema Israel, the sacred way is before you.
Before we rise for the tefillah, the amidah, and stand in prayer, just wanted to say briefly again that in coming to this part of the service, we had some difficulties. And particularly as in Savina's life, our ancestor Sarah has particular merit. And the amidah prayer is one in which we name our ancestors to both remember and be given blessing from their blessing and their teachings. We decided to begin our communal amidah with a techina, a devotional prayer to Sarah, written by a Jewish woman who lived several hundred years ago, and then to continue in silence, thinking of those wise ones and old ones and ancient ones who have been our teachers, both as a people and personally. And we will just remain standing in silence for as long as we need to think of them and their blessings to us. And then when you're finished, please sit down. Please rise. May the matriarch's merit be present with us at this hour. We beg our Mother Sarah pray for us at this hour, that we may go free in our lives. Have mercy, our Mother, on your children, and pray for our children, that they are not separated from us. You know the bitterness of a child taken from its mother, as you grieved when Isaac was taken from you. Pray now at this moment that God may remember our merit and remember your merit. Ask for mercy on our behalf. she is going to be saying a blessing to put on, a special blessing to put on the garments. And that's the last page of the service if you want to look at that as well. Please rise.
One of the things that's most important in life, I don't know how seriously we take it nowadays, but it was very important to the ancients what their name was and what they were naming things, because a name meant the essence of the bearer. Nothing exists unless it's named. God particularly named Sarah and Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac. But the name that God gave to Sarai, Sarah, which means queen in Akkadian, is more than a name only. It also expresses her essence, that of queen. It's a title. And the title is not an empty shell, but carries with it Sarah's new vision as progenitor of a people. Sarah's title as queen describes her status as matriarch of a people, much more than as a mother of the sons. And I think it was in this sense that Sarah received her title, corresponding very specifically to her age and her destiny. Sarah had reached a point in her life in which she was ready to originate the wellspring of a culture. So in recognition of Sarah's status, and in recognition of the status of the elders of our congregation, with a vision and destiny for our community. At this point, the elders of the community who wished either to change their name or to receive a title would be welcome up at the Hohmah and to receive a blessing. What name would you like the community to recognize you with?
Degania. It's a name by which I was called many years ago, and then I reverted to the name that I was given when I was born, and now I would like to take my own chosen name back, and that's Degania.
Degania, well.
means welcome in Hebrew, so we'll now welcome Degania with her name.
If you recall, the song is on page 5, and this translates from Hohmah to
This is the time when we read the portion. I don't know that I can't think what to do, but we read the portion of the Torah.
We discovered in preparing this ritual, much to our amazement and disbelief, because she is already such a Hohmah of Torah, such a scholar of Torah, that Savina has never read Torah before in community. So there are many firsts today, and this is one of them. And she's trying to remember to breathe while she does it.
And I may as well tell you that reading Torah is not like opening a book and just reading it. It's written, handwritten script, and it has no vowels, and it's very difficult to read. So when I stumble, please hold me up.
We're all going to say the blessing together for reading the Torah. Baruch Adonai Haorach, Baruch Adonai Haorach Elam Ha'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacharanu mikol ha'arim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Okay. And the Lord said to Abram, go forth from your native land and from your father's hand, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse them that curse you. And God said to Abraham, as for your wife Sarai, you shall not call her Sarai, but her name shall be Sarah. I will bless her. Indeed, I will give you a son by her. I will bless her, so that she shall give rise to nations. Rulers of people shall issue from her. Vayomer Adonai el Abraham, Lech L'cha, Me'artzecha, U'mimoldecha, U'mibeit Avicha, El ha'aretz asher lecha. Zarecha, Legoy Gadol, Ve'avarcha, Ve'hagebola, Shemecha. והיה ברכה והברכה נברך ונברך. ויאמר אלוהים אל אברהם, שרי אשתך, לא תקרא את שמה שרי, כי שרה שמה. ברכתי אותם וגם נתתי ממנה להשתך.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam natan l'torcheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Blessing, when promised, is a vision. When given, it becomes a reality. Today, as we celebrate wisdom, I'd like to talk about the promise and the vision. They're still there. What we have to do is recognize them. Promises and covenants and visions were not only the prerogative of the ancients. The difference between our ancestors and ourselves is that they took visions and miracles as a matter of course, as proof of the existence of the supernatural. Omens only exist if you believe in them. We've lost the capacity to recognize an omen or a vision. But now, when I look back on my life so far, I feel that I received an oracle and I didn't recognize it. In my case, I don't think it made a difference whether I understood it at the time or not. I said on many occasions that my life seems to have paralleled Sarah's to a certain extent, the biblical Sarah's. Like Sarah, I'm a stranger in a strange land, as opposed to being in the land of my birth. I married but had no children. I spent many childless years honing into my profession as a writer and educator. In much later years, I lived with a wonderful woman who had a child, and that child became like my own. Sarah acquired Ishmael, a son. I acquired Maria, a daughter. And now, in my later years, I've embarked on a whole new world, the study of Torah. And so I asked myself two questions. When did I get this calling? And where am I now on the journey? And I believe that I got this calling on a spiritualist, in a spiritualist meeting in England. I lived in a square, and there were some spiritualist people there. And they always asked me to come with them to their meetings. And so I went to one of the meetings. And what they do is they have a medium standing like this on the podium, and she would point to somebody and say, I have a message for you. And so the first one she points to, and I'm right at the back, and there was nobody behind, so it was me. And she says to me, there is somebody coming towards me with a flower for you. And then she said, her name is Sarah. And she said she's old, she's very old, and she's beautiful. And she's saying, don't despair, keep to your path, it's going to be all right. I thought it was my grandmother, Sarah. I thought she'd come to me to console me about my broken marriage and to tell me to go on with my life. Now, I think that it was the matriarch Sarah, who perhaps is the same as my grandmother. I think that the priestess Sarah was apprising me of another destiny, not that of a wife and mother, but that of an educator, and not of an educator of one sole child, but of a tribe or clan or a people. And that answers my second question, where am I on my journey? I'm fulfilling the oracle of Sarah. I didn't despair. And I think now that my vision was that of the matriarch Sarah, I was offering the way or directing me on a path that would bring me back to the people, that would bring her back to her people. And I think that was my destiny. I was very young when Sarah appeared to me, and I forged ahead, knowing that I had a destiny, but not because I was not able to get in touch with that right away, with that oracle, because I didn't recognize it. I spent a great deal of my life spinning my wheels. But I think that I have fulfilled my destiny, that portion of it anyway. That I have fulfilled my destiny anyway, and now I'm here again, open to a new calling. I hear somewhere in the cosmos, Lech L'cha, go Savina, go towards the culmination of your life, go towards what you will leave behind, the legacy of your essence. Today you witness, each one of you, the beginning of the cycle that reintegrates my being with the cosmos, the cycle that reaffirms life, like the kittel I wear, the ceremonial robe that unites and affirms the two aspects of the new cycle, the festive garment and the shroud. The matriarch's destiny was to have a child. I'm going towards this new phase in my life with faith and courage and excitement. And even though I said earlier that in some strange way my life paralleled that of Sarah, I asked the Shekinah not to let me have another child in my old age.
Children of the spirit and of the heart, not necessarily of the flesh. When Janet and I met with Savina at one point to talk about this morning, and Savina was very concerned about the future, as she is in wonderful ways, but what we noticed was happening was that we had to remind her that this was in fact her ritual and her moment of transition and something about her. And in that way, Debbie and I would like to ask all of you as Savina's community, as part of the community, that we are going to bless her very specifically right now, and to do that as a sign of the blessing that she is for us in our lives and in our community. So would you please stand? Okay, we're going to all make a circle around Savina while we do this. May Shekinah bless you and keep you. May Shekinah turn towards you and make her presence radiate back from you. So much
finish the ceremony with something that was significant of the connection between death and life and death. And since trees were very significant, they were a significant spiritual symbol for our ancestors, I chose the planting of a tree. And I would like that every year at this time a tree should be planted. Sarah lived in a grove of terebinths in Landry. Drorah, Rebecca's companion, was buried under an oak in Bethel. Abraham planted a tamarisk at Beersheba. Trees symbolize the connection between the depths of the earth below, where life is quickened, to the canopy above, where life becomes visible. When I came, I tended the trees that my ancestors had planted. Now I plant the trees for those who come after me. I plant this tree so that its roots will mingle with my ashes, so that those of you who come after me will be blessed in its shade, find nourishment in its beauty, and comfort under its canopy. May this tree grow to be filled with the presence of Shekhinah.
Let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Now we're finishing. As you leave, if you would like to also put some earth in the tree and take part in the planting symbolically that way.